Welcome everyone to the LEC and LCS predictions for week 4 and 5 respectively. We've got 25 games to predict this week, as well as go over the results from last weekend as well. So without wasting that much time, let's jump into last week's results, to then enter the predictions for this week. So last weekend we saw some big old matches in the LCS. And you can kind of tell how well we did in terms of our predictions. Falls across the board, with C9 picking up wins where we thought they wouldn't, and realistically there's some other teams that didn't pick up wins as well. So them games was CLG losing to IMT, EG beating TSM, and also C9 beating CLG. Those were the games that we dropped in the LCS. And as we move over to the LEC, bit of a different story. Although the 4 trend continued day 1, day 2 we dropped pretty much every game bar 1, and the game we didn't drop on day 2 was Rogue and Astralis, where Rogue won. And on day 1 the game we didn't pick up was G2 Vitality, where G2 absolutely flopped against the Bees. Now the results are out the way, let's move over to this week's predictions, because this is gonna be an absolute nightmare to get through. So we kick our predictions off with 100 Thieves and Team Liquid. What an absolute banger. Now obviously TL's had a lot of disturbance in there behind the scenes. Obviously Santorin stepping away with health issues and won't be in for this week, I do believe. Our Mayo's still stepping in, but we could be seeing the return of Alfari. This is a big pickup obviously for TL, kind of like when Sven came into C9 last weekend, but I still feel that if Alfari is coming in, it won't make much of a difference, because let's just say Jenkins has been one of the best performing top laners in the LCS this split. They did have a bit of an issue with TSM last weekend, but that was mainly drafting issues. And obviously with Jat stepping out of the head coaching role for the TL, and they've got these kind of temporary coaches or people stepping up into his role as the drafting coaches. Yeah, I don't like how TL have been drafting recently, and personally, if this is gonna stay the same, TL may be losing a lot of games, let's just be honest. And as such, I've gone with an 100 Thieves win here over Team Liquid, who we haven't really discussed 100 Thieves because we haven't needed to, because the eyes are all on TL. And as such, we can move over to our second game to predict. Game 2, FlyQuest EG. EG, been looking better in form. FlyQuest, not so much. Honestly, they're sliding further and further down the pecking order in the LCS. Obviously, they want the top 8 spot, and they're losing that if they're still in it at the moment. I'm unsure, but GoGuardians have been on far better form than FlyQuest right now. And as such, you kind of have to give the result to EG here. And as such, that's who I've gone with predicting to win. Fires rise as Dignitas and TSM is our match of the week, covering these two teams in our second round robin of team coverage. We've covered every single one already, and this one is going to be interesting, to say the least, as they're both teams different trajectories. All in all, TSM been on the up and up, whereas Dignitas made some changes here and there. They dropped Dardoch and they brought in Acadian for the permanent roster, and realistically this team has been kind of faltering, and they found a bit of form now with Acadian stepping in. And Dignitas always tend to do well against TSM, always picking up maybe a plucky win in the last few minutes of the game. But as I say, we've gone with a TSM win here. Overall, TSM just are the superior team at the moment. Hand in hand, these two teams are in different areas of playoffs, and hand in hand, they're going to be ending in 2 different areas of playoffs, and as such, that's why I've gone with TSM win. IMT C9, a game I realistically don't really think I'll be watching too much, because it's just one of them games that don't appeal to people, in my opinion. C9 should easily win this one. IMT kind of been struggling recently in terms of their performances compared to their opening week game, and as such, I have to go with a C9 win here. CLG GoGuardians is the game I'm actually looking forward to in comparison to some of the others this weekend. Why? Well, it's a clash between teams that I would honestly say are having a better summer split than spring, and that's something you have to realize is huge. These two teams both have good records, and honestly, they're going to probably advance these quite a lot further than what they're at right now. Obviously with the triple round robin, I do believe. Maybe it's a quadra, I don't remember. You play each other 3 times at least this split, so 5 times in total this season. As such, I honestly think that we're going to see a CLG win here, but don't be surprised if we see some GoGuardians cheese beating the Bongo comp to death with the new items. But yeah, that's my honest assumption. Let's see what day 2 holds for us. Day 2 kicked off with EG and CLG. I honestly think we could see an absolute brawl fest, an absolute clown fiesta for this game. Just 2 teams very explosive in current styles, and as such, with Tom Kench being reworked and out of play, and you also have these new items which I too am very unfamiliar with, we could see a lot of explosiveness, no safety for picks like Varus, for picks like Aphelios. If they come through, they'll be dropping out of priority realistically very quick with the Tom Kench changes, and as such, we're probably going to see a lot more aggressive ADCs, the likes of the Jinxes, the Ezreal still probably staying very relevant, and as such, I honestly am going to enjoy this new meta with Tom Kench being benched for a while. But for this game, my prediction is an Evil Geniuses win. Yeah, I completely forgot I was making predictions here, but there you go, that's my prediction. Team Solo Mid and IMT is our next game. This is going to be interesting because it's the battle of the 3-0 opening week teams going head to head here, and I honestly think this is going to be one-sided. Right now, in terms of scorelines, I've gone with a TSM win, and it's probably not going to be close. Now we got a big old matchup. It's the lock-in finals rematch, or the spring split grand finals rematch, as it's TL versus C9. Probably not going to be the summer split finals this time round, as there's 2 better teams currently in the LCS, but it's always good to see these 2 teams do battle, and possibly we are gonna see Sven versus Alfari for the first time this split, and honestly this is gonna be a close, old, grueling battle between the 2 lineups. I for one, for some reason, think TL are gonna edge it, as you just gotta realize that top lane is completely isolated to the most extensive part in comparison to other roles, whereas you've got the jungle. Armeo's been performing better than Blabber in my opinion. Mid lane, Jensen honestly has outperformed Perks, and then bot lane, Tactical and Core JJ have just been the standout part of Team Liquid, being top tier for the squad, and Sven and Vulcan haven't had enough time to synergize in comparison to the bot lane for TL, who have been a constant throughout all the pain that TL have been suffering this split. And that's why I've gone with a TL win here over the current LCS champions. Now we kind of de-escalate down to GoGuardians Dig, and I for one like this matchup. it's a good chance to see how these two teams thrive in the dire half of the LCS. My opinion, though, is it's going to be a GoGuardians win. I like their form coming into this game, in comparison to Dig, who've been swapping out parts more than what SK have been, let's be honest. And as such, that's why I've gone with a GoGuardians win. Do I need to go in depth on this game? Well, FlyQuest are providing the best Hispanic quality to the LCS. Let's just say the 100 Thieves are providing the best quality League of Legends to NA right now. And they're who I'm going with in this matchup between them two teams. And as such, I think this is going to be pretty easy. The last day of the LCS is kicked off with GoGuardians EG. I would love to say GoGuardians win, but I've gone with an EG win here. It's, for me, going to be pretty interesting to see how this game goes, but it's gone for me in terms of result to Evil Geniuses. CLG and 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves are probably sussed out the bongo. They're going to be playing it all night long. And that means the CLG's gonna lose this. Let's just cut the music and just say 100 Thieves win. Now we've got C9 TSM. I always go C9 here because let's be honest, they usually beat TSM, but I've gone with a TSM win here. I just have a feeling TSM gonna just raise the roof here against C9 and just demolish them. TL Fly now, and yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this one. TL win. The last game in the LCS is Dignitas and IMT. I'll give a bit of time to this one. I don't know what to say. Why did I give a bit of time to it? Dig, meh. IMT, bit better. Yeah, IMT win. That's my prediction. Go IMT! Over to the LEC for this weekend's action. Vitality and Astralis kick it off. Personally, this is going to be a good old clash because I think that Vitality are going to win. It's just that feeling that you get when you see a team who do very well in the last weekend, and you kind of hope they'll carry it over here. Continue to form, make it grow, and then go in flames in playoffs, let's be honest. And you saw some big picks coming out of Selfmade in his Evelyn coming out for a game, and that destroyed people. And honestly, I could see them doing something crazy this weekend with new items, because that's the sort of thing Selfmade likes to do, is play carry picks and then just absolutely blow people up. So, Vitality win is my prediction here. Last weekend, SK picked up their first win against XL. This week, they're facing tougher opponents in Rogue, and that's who they've got first up here. And I honestly think it's gonna be very, very Rogue heavy favored. Yeah. SK, while I've picked up one win, they've chopped and chased pieces pretty much every single week. Jez is out, and then Lillipin is the newest one, and that honestly has kind of solidified the roster a bit more, though Lillip is getting a bit more practice into his belts in the LEC, and is looking incredibly good. He just needs a bit more time, and going against Rogue is a great opportunity for him to grow as a player, especially going against probably the best bot lane in the LEC right now. And that being said, Rogue are winning this game easily. Now we have a matchup with two teams that have got a very difficult weekend ahead of them in terms of this game and their next one. It is Mad versus Misfits. And I love this battle because you've got Lions versus Rabbits. And you can realistically see the Rabbits pulling ahead here with how they've been playing here at decimating their opponents and going up against Armor, who's struggled in summer here. I for one think that Misfits will win this battle. This is me kind of predicting, I don't even think you can call it a shock upset. With how Misfits have been performing this split, I just feel that this could be a big old win for the Bunnies against the Roar of the Lion. SO4 and Fnatic, second to last matchup on day one. I honestly think this could be a good match. It's going to be a belter and a good test for Adam as he goes up against the best top laner this split by far. Broken Blade has been popping off on signature carries, though his Riven didn't pick up a win. He still plays extremely well right now, and although Shaco is losing quite a few games, I still feel this could be an absolute belter of a matchup. However, Fnatic are the form team right now, and as such, that's who I've gone with winning this matchup. G2XL, last game of the day, and it's odd, because this is 3 days that I can remember in a row. G2 are finishing out a game day, and they're facing XL here, and I always know G2 and XL is a good battle. One of the times, I think recently it was Spring Split, it was Spring Split of 2020. It was a last game day matchup where they played meme comps, and then you had in summer XL picking up the last time these two teams battled. Yeah, I think this will be good. It'll be fun and interesting. XL obviously bringing in their academy jungler and support. This should be very good for them to get some experience, though it's not very good if you want to pick up wins. That's why I feel that G2 are gonna win this matchup, as the team synergy may not be there yet for this XL lineup. So day 2, we kick it off with Vitality and XL, and I personally feel Vitality will pick up an easy win here over the British organisation, and sadly for them, it will not be coming home. Now we have a battle I love. It is Shaco versus Astralis, and I don't know how this is gonna go, because these two teams are evenly matched at the moment in terms of results, and I like watching this game, normally I should say. As such, I've gone with a Shaco win, though don't be too surprised if Astralis win, and I'm again going to point to that top lane. You got two very powerful top laners right now in summer, in White Knight and Broken Blade in this matchup, so this is going to be a good old battle to watch. No one expects Fnatic getting back-to-back Anarchy Analysis matchups, and well, they have done. And this is less about the teams involved and more about the common trend between lineups. Both teams have role-swapped junglers, and this is the battle of the role swap, and I honestly really wanna see who got a better deal out of it. Treats versus Bwipo, we're highlighting here. Treats is an MVP talent in Spring, in the support role, basically getting SK into playoffs alongside Genax, who this split hasn't had much action, I would say, in that top lane. And then you have Bwipo role swapping into jungle to make way for a new young gun top laner. Personally, this is going to be a big old matchup, and it is technically the El Clasico of the LEC. Completely forgot that's the name for this matchup. So I've gone with a Fnatic win here because Fnatic are just on another level in comparison to SK, who've only just picked up their first win. So realistically, we're going to be looking at all the roster changes and how this has turned out for SK, and yeah. Let's move over to our next matchup. Time for the bangers. It's Misfits versus G2. I for one feel G2 need to fire back heavily here. They've had a pretty bad start to the split. Yes, they've been picking up wins, but they haven't looked to me that impressive. They've been sluggish. Topside map has been a big downfall in my opinion, especially also in the jungle. Them two haven't been working together as much this split, and Wonder has been suffering. He's not had the best of time in the top lane. Yes, he trash talked SLT and Adom by saying that EU Masters top laners that come into the LEC for the first time suck. That's what he's basically said. And then the LOL images that precede unfortunate events basically put that video onto his channel and basically said, yeah, you kind of lost to both of them this week. So how does that make you feel? So yeah, G2 have a lot to prove here. And when they face off against Misfits, hear it. The obvious big boy for Misfits right now being the big man carrying them. Realistically, it's a chance for Wonder to prove that he's still got it as a top laner. Because if not, you can quite easily see him being a casualty of war coming into the spring split next year, and G2 probably picking up a new top lane talent. And our last game is the rematch of the spring split grand finals. Rogue versus Mad. And you can tell by how this will be promoted by the LEC for the match of the week, it will literally be that no G2, no Fnatic in the final, and these two teams being the new age of the LEC and the future of Europe. That's how you can see this matchup. That's how it's going to be built. But you look at the future of Europe right now, one team is on the rise, one team's had a bit of a struggle after MSI, and Rogue are my prediction to win this matchup. And with that over and done with, we can finally end out this video. If you enjoyed these predictions, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new around here if you want to, and I will see you guys for the Anarchy Analysis teamfight breakdown between CLG and C9 from last weekend. Peace out.